a particular one of the five elements destroyed that world and then created it again. You know, it restarted itself. So
Indeed.
there's like four destructions and moving into another cycle of sorts.
Yeah.
And I was looking at this, and there's one the blue character, which is the last ring in the Olympic logo. The blue
Hmm.
character is symbolic for water. It's called Baby. It's a weird little critter. I don't know what you want to call it,
Yeah.
but it's symbolic for water, strong in water sports, and she reflects the blue Olympic ring. And this is the only of the five characters that's got a spiritual third eye.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, why has this got a spiritual third eye? And then you think about this Diana's ring of water, and then you think about this spiritual third eye in the mascot, and you think of water obviously is symbolic for Aquarius. There's this idea that we're moving into this blue ring of the Olympics, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, to explain this better, those Olympic rings for me are the five cycles of time from the main calendar. Only one's connected to another. And it's almost like there's the transition stage where the two rings meet up. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah.
And so when, for instance, you've got a set of films like by J.R. Tolkien, the Lord of the Rings, what it really means is the Lord of the Cycles of Time.
Yeah.
Right. And so then when you think about the trilogy, you had the Fellowship of the Ring, which incidentally opens up with Gandalf's birthday on the 111th birthday, 111, which is obviously a pyramid number.
Mm.
You've got Fellowship of the Ring moving into the Two Towers. Sounds symbolic to World Trade Center, if you like.
Yeah.
Moving into Return of the King. Same thing. They're on about buying us into another messianic prophecy. So, do you know what I'm saying about this symbolically ring cycle thing? It's all basically insinuating that throughout the cycles of time,
Yeah.
something has had control of everything. And what I'm trying to propose is that when, for instance, in Egypt, they pretty much know that the Grand Pyramid, the Great Pyramid, started fully formed as such, and then the Egyptian civilization went into decline from there and after. All the pyramids that followed it were in like disrepair. They don't stand the test of time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And obviously, everyone believes that preceding or before that, there was obviously the Great Flood of sorts. Potential like the Great Flood, which essentially came after the destruction of Atlantis. So what I don't know too much about Atlantis myself, except it's supposed to be a highly technological, civilization of sorts.
Indeed.
But if you think about these cycles of time, Atlantis was destroyed. The same power structure, whatever, managed to survive it anyhow because they had the technology to survive it, and then they restarted again straight with the pyramid back into the next cycle.
Well, there you go, and I think that's an extremely interesting point because to some extent we can, to some extent we can say that we are in kind of that technological advancement, as it were, right now, and we're also kind of approaching it. It's the speed up of the thing, and it's like, we're going to be like at the peak of our civilization, as it were, whatever we want to call it. And I think basically at the same time as everything is, the technological singularity, call it what you will, this kind of the high point of our achievement. At the same time that we actually reach that pinnacle, we could potentially also kind of fall again, so to speak. And this could be a moment, and this might where we'll be around 2012. I don't know.
Yeah. Where I can take this now after this, I've covered the cycles. I could pretty much tell you what the religion of the New World Order is as well.
Okay.
If you want to know that,
I'd love to. Yeah, share with us, please.
Well, basically, if you're reading Revelations, chapter 11, verse 12. Now a great sign appeared in heaven: a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. Remember the moon because that's symbolised with Isis. And on her head a garland of 12 stars, like the 12 stars of the EU flag. But basically, in Revelations, it refers to the breaking of the seven seals. Right. In the main prophecies for Chilam, a high priest, in 1560, there was a prophecy written about the arrival of Christianity and the arrival, this was like the end of the Mayan calendar prophecies of sorts. And he said, there the masters of our souls arrived. There the counties were distributed to their chiefs. There we began to learn the holy faith. There water began to enter our heads. There were laid the foundations of the high church, the palace of God. there the principle of the 7 sacraments were founded. So 7 again, 7 seals in Revelation, 7 sacraments in the main prophecies. And I do Reiki, so I know what there's 7 of, and there's 7 chakras. 7 sacraments, 7 chakras, same word, same thing to me.
Yeah.
And as a confirmation of that, on my blog, there's some more deciphering of imagery. And if you have an issue of the UK passport from 1998, I think that's when mine was issued, there's an image of the rose, the thistle, and the daffodil, which are the flowers of England, Scotland, and Wales. But as I've said, these images have 2 meanings, and they have 2, they have a duality. And this image that no one knows what it is, it's on a page called Reserved for Observations Only, with a number 11 on the page. It's basically showing a diagram of the chakra system. And you can correlate that because basically the heart chakra lines up with an image of a heart, and the solar plexus chakra aligns up with an image of a sun. So basically you've got this thing, but even more concerning, or not concerning, on the root chakra and the crown chakra, it's signed with a inverted pentagram.
Really?
So you think about that, there's an inverted pentagram on your crown chakra and your root chakra. Now, I don't know what that's symbolically saying, but it's obviously involving spiritualism.
Yeah.
And if this is in the UK passport, I mean, it's beyond me that our government have ever acknowledged the chakras. I've never known that in my entire life.
Yeah.
But as a further proof to the New World Order religion is going to be based on spirituality, the Tibetan flag. I don't know if you've seen this. I've recently picked this up myself because of all the kerfuffle with the Olympic torch and the Dalai Lama and everything.
Yeah.
Basically, it's become pretty apparent that the Free Tibet movement was funded by the CIA. Because it was a way to rise up against China. But essentially, like, ignoring that, if you look at the Tibetan Buddhist flag, or the Tibetan flag that they used from 1912 to 1950, which is banned by China now, if you look at that, it depicts what is a mountain, but it's not a mountain, it's a pyramid. And at the top of the pyramid is a sun. Right? So essentially you've got a pyramid with an all-seeing eye on the banned Tibetan flag that the Tibetan Buddhists used to represent themselves. So what is that saying about Tibet in 1912 to 1950 when they used that flag? It's almost like it's a blueprint for, the New World Order's religion of sorts, based on meditation, spirituality, chakras, and, all that goes with it.
I mean, I'm looking at a picture of the Tibetan flag right now, and even the fact that there's 2, lions, if you will, that is holding up the eternal flame, and even the word itself, if you look at Pyramidion or Pyramidos, I should say, that's basically fire in the middle. So I mean, they give you the hint right there that this is a pyramid, and then you have the sun in the backdrop. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So
you've got this thing, and I've got a recent picture of the Dalai Lama sat giving a press conference, and his head was aligned perfectly with the back of that sun. And this is where I'm trying. This is where I'm moving to some weird stuff, because obviously this New World Order religion is basically still sun worship, but it's based on spiritual sun worship. It's going to combine Islam and Christianity. And it's through the emergence of Isis and the resurrection of a sun god. This is how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, obviously, New Age talk, conspiracy theories, and all of this stuff that's put out there, these are low-level distractions and stuff. And obviously, the New Age spirituality movement, it's not a bad thing in itself. But essentially, if you look at where it probably started from something very different to what we expect.